Hello everyone and welcome back to Victoria 3. We are still continuing on the struggle train that is the beginning game Russia, as we've been unable to pass any sorts of laws that would be helping us to get out of the mire that we started in. So no serfdom abolished yet, no move away from traditionalism. We've been in just failing laws with decent chances. So we had a 24% chance for agrarianism and just blew it completely. We haven't even been able to really decrease the power of the landowners either, and we need desperately to have some steel mills, or we're going to start getting lots and lots of shortages. We already have some, and you can see our tooling factories have the maximum penalty, 50%, from lack of steel, and that's driving a little bit of a price increase, nearly a shortage in tools. This is the bad cascade that you can have go on here, is if you have a shortage in one, it drives a shortage in the next, drives a shortage in the next. You get chain shortages down the line, and we have a lot of very expensive goods for right now, as well as a projected bureaucratic shortfall. Never a good thing. That should stop the institution from going up, but I wonder, let's just cancel that. Let's stay at 2 for right now for law enforcement. We're getting our radicals under control ever so slowly, and I'd like to be able to pass agrarianism sometime soon. So in terms of our government, we are still trying to improve the industrialists and the intelligentsia. Could also try to improve somebody else, but I don't know if that is worthwhile. Well, I mean, we have the rural folk here too. We cannot suppress the gentry, but they are unhappy enough with us to give us a massive debuff in income, and that's kind of screwing me over right now. So we could go back up to high taxes, but we'd lose some legitimacy. We'd have more radicals from standard of living. Could also go back to having a liquor consumption tax, which I think is the safer move for right now, just to make sure we don't go too far in debt, as we are pushing that envelope a little bit more than I'd like. I mean, we've expanded construction a little bit, still not exactly great. We're about 30 or so behind. Really more like 40, because as time goes on, that's just going to keep going up and up and up and up and up, right? Ever increasing in your production. At least that's what you want to be doing in an ideal world. So a bit of a struggle there. The French have not mounted another attack on us. And, ooh, 14.1% of their population is radical compared to 7% of ours. Is something going to start happening in France? GDP is plummeting. We could very well see the collapse of the French Empire here very early on, just because they chose a stupid war that they can't afford, they can't possibly win. So, well, fair enough, I won't argue. +1 max education investment. We still don't have any education system because we have serfdom still in 43. It's fucking ridiculous. It's the latest I've ever had it. I mean, I've never failed this many times to get the law passed. It's kind of impressive, but not in a good way at all. So we do have a lot of radicals that are pushing reforms, but I think with serfdom abolished, we should see a big spike in loyalists, and that'll help get things under control a bit more as the game progresses. In terms of our infamy, still at 191, which is massively into the pariah zone. If you're at 100 or more, people can declare those cut you down to size wars, and that means you lose everything that you gained within the past 10 years. That means states, that means puppets, that means everything along that sort of vein. So that's not what we want to do at all. We want to basically wait that out a little bit, see if we can stabilize our economy, see if we can stop getting picked on by various countries here as well, and then just see what's going on. I mean, we're still colonizing, we should be anyway, in the Kazakhs. Let's take a look. State actions, no. Decrees, no. I always forget what this is. Colonies. Yeah, so we're still colonizing the Kazakhs. This takes a lot longer than it used to at the very beginning. Plus, we've left our colonial investment at Tier 1. So once this is done, once we have dropped infamy as well, we can go after Khiva, Bukhara, Afghanistan, and other places like that, as well as maybe even consider integrating Persia and cleaning up the Caucasian and Circassian territories in Georgia, that sort of area anyway. It's going to be a weird game. I mean, East India Company is still there. We haven't started colonizing Sakhalin or Hokkaido, just because I don't want to piss off anyone else when everyone hates our guts. And the mines get organized. We're going to support the industrialists. They are more powerful than the trade unions for right now, and I like them better anyway. And that clout could very well drive a lot of social reform, so that could be a very good thing for us. I almost wish we could put them in. If we do this, yeah, no, that's not going to work. We don't have any combinations right now that work just because people are so diametrically opposed in what they want, and that's a big problem. But at least our GDP is going a little bit forward. We're also managing to solve some of these shortages. The sulfur shortage will be resolved very soon, and we've just pulled out of a steel shortage. So if we can resolve these, then we can start working on the rest of the goods down the line and start really bringing up that standard of living. Ah, jeez. See, this is what I'm talking about. Serfdom abolished, stalled again, down to 3% chance of success, which is just too low. We can't do that. It's not worth it. So we're going to have to shake up the government again, try and go back to agrarianism again. Have to even wait 2 weeks before we can try that, let alone do anything else. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Could try to go to freedom of conscience, but Gentry Assembly hate that already, and we need to kind of throw them a bone. Not really great. I mean, at least this has fixed our economy problem a little bit. The Gentry Assembly giving us, allowing us to collect our taxes properly is very nice. Here's what I'm thinking. The largest support for agrarianism is not from the rural folk, it's from the industrialists. So let's switch over to the industrialists and see what we can do. So if we do that, do this. Is it worth it? No, it's not. So we'll sacrifice 3% chance of success, but we'll keep Gentry Assembly happy enough to not tank our economy, and we'll keep an acceptable government, which has its own benefits as well. And in the meantime, we'll just work off a little bit of that interest before doing anything else. We could go up a little bit more in production. We can afford to right now, which is very nice. It's a good sign. We're pulling out of our little mire here, but that's in part also because of Austrian war reparations, which at 23,000 is our surplus. So I don't want to get into a situation where we can't fight our way out of it again, but I think we'll do one more. Let's get one more construction sector going in Moscow. We can adjust to that decently well, I think, and then solving the sulfur shortage will definitely help out as well. Because, I mean, everywhere is lacking services, right? 25% penalty, when that goes down to 0, we'll be in a pretty good spot. Oh, man. I just hope we can pass something. I mean, one time in 10 we should get this. Almost, anyway. And we're gonna come up on 10 times around the pass. Pretty soon. Quicker than you might think. Anyway. Okay, well, let's go to 4. I think the war with the French is just going to be a massive waste of time. We're just gonna have to wait them out. 14.8% of the population is radical. Our economy is still going up. Just wish we had better literacy. Their economy's recovering a little bit. You know what? Let's start working on literacy just a tad. Let's get another 2 paper mills in Ingria because we need the paper. Oh, another 3. And then we can go over and build a university. We have 2 in Moscow. We should get 1 in Ingria. We should get 1 in Mazovia. Greater Poland, Lesser Poland. That will help out quite a bit for our rate of technological increase and our literacy, which is just abysmally small. So if we take a look here, we have come pretty close to incorporating these different states, but not quite, and we're getting enough now here that's very nearly we can go back to medium taxation, which will get rid of that 25% radical modifier again. So very much something that I want to do, but not quite able to afford it just yet. It's a game of patience after all. I mean, you can't go too quickly, or you'll end up hurting yourself more than helping, and that's what we did at the start, is we ended up hurting ourselves more than we were ever possibly helping ourselves with that conquest. I mean, the Ottomans are giving us how much in subsidies here? Let's take a look. Oh, 23,000. Jeez. Okay, well, it's nice to have puppet states, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the tithe from the Ottomans is equal to Austrian war reparations, which is worth something. I almost wonder if we could try and push it further. If we can get the Ottomans, once they're happy with us, we could go in for another big puppet war against somebody huge. The issue is that we can't do that until we have a better military, and that's going to take quite a while indeed. So, inactive trade routes again with the French. I don't care. Get rid of it. Nobody cares. They're not going to trade with us. We're not going to trade with them. But we're starting to lose market access in Moscow. We really need railways yesterday, pretty much. We also need to decrease the cost of paper, iron, and tools. Paper we're working on. That's fine. Iron and tools will have to come next. So let's get the universities going, and then we'll go for first the iron. Saratov can do a couple more, and then we'll go for the tools. I don't really want to build up more in Moscow right now, though. We can't really afford it. Minsk is struggling as well. So let's go for a couple in Lesser Poland. Let's go for 3 there. And that should be fine. That should be fine enough right now. Unequal treaties, but we need to get this passed. And we just rolled around. We basically made no change. We missed agrarianism. We didn't increase or decrease the success chance. But we avoided decreasing by owing an obligation to Great Britain, which, considering they hate us, is not my favorite thing in the world. Ugh. Oh, it's such a hard knock life, isn't it? Okay, so other prospects. We do have pretty nice control here. We could go after Egypt. 10.6 million GDP, and the 22 we're getting is from a 19 million GDP country. And look at that, they spiked when they joined our market. We all know why that spike is there. That's because the Russian market helped pull you up and helped pull me down a little bit. We could go after Egypt. It's still going to be a huge spike in infamy, but at least they have a comparatively shit army. So we could push through that decently well. Not going to be too much trouble. Good population, and then, I mean, it's a shit army, but it's a large army, and we're trying to add numbers. That's what's dissuading the Western countries right now from attacking us, as ever. Our Russian numbers, if we go to war, it's just, we'll grind them down so much that it's not really worthwhile. And, I mean, I say that while we're at war, but this will be over sometime soon. And we might even be able to get war reparations. It's kind of hard to say, but I mean, they're dead versus ours. What are they fighting us again? Where? Yeah, okay, they're going after the convoy raiders. Fine. We'll lose the convoy raiding, it's okay. But so long as we don't lose more war support. Take a look too, that could be why their economy was in the pits. Going to overview here. Yeah, they've spent 10 times. Jeez. Look at that. 11.6 million compared to 1.16 million. It's been expensive for us, don't get me wrong, but god damn, the French were not prepared for this. Not even a little. Okay, so let's go now to medium taxes. That should decrease our radicals again, which will be very nice. And we're still pushing just a little bit of a surplus. Just a tad. And this is all just because our economy is slowly and steadily finally improving just a little bit. So, incremental improvements is the name of the game. Alright, well I think we'll do a short one here today as things are sort of in a bit of a holding pattern, but that's all I've got for you guys. Thank you all for hanging around, and we'll see you again real soon.